guys, it's Holly and I am really lucky to be able to share with you guys my review on the brand new UCS buildable R2d2. Here's the box. It's giant, it's huge, it's really big, and it was pretty heavy as well when it's full, so luckily it's empty now, and there's little R2d2 sat behind me. So this is set 75308 and has 2,314 pieces and retails for $200 US and 320 Australian. So this little guy here was actually sent to me through LAN, so thank you so much LAN, because a few of you would know I got a review offer for this and forgot to respond to the email. I swore I did, but they were really kind enough to still send it to me, so thank you so much. I promise to answer my emails from now on, but thank you LAN, I'm very grateful, and so is everyone here. So this set actually released today on May 1st, and already in the US, within I think it was 2 hours, was already put on back order, so he's pretty popular. But if you are planning on getting it for May the 4th, you will still get double VIP points, as well as the Tatooine Homestead promo, which I have done a review on if you want to click the little card thingy at the top. But I highly suggest, if it is on back order when you go and order it, I would recommend ordering literally anything else from Shop at Home, just so that that ships with the promo. Now, I was fortunate enough to actually be a part of a LEGO Star Wars roundtable thing, which I'm planning on doing an entire video over, where the LEGO designers talked a lot about the Darth Vader helmet, the Scout Trooper, the Imperial Probe Droid, as well as R2d2. So I learnt a lot about the set itself and how it was kind of made and some of the choices. So I'll talk you guys through them as I show you the set. So let's go have a close look at R2, because I am really excited for this one. So here is R2, and overall I really think this droid looks so cute. I think it is a big step up, at least from what I've seen of the original. The original one was a bit more kind of squared off. There weren't as many curved pieces back in the day when that set did come out. So just the amount of pieces that exist these days has really benefited this model. Everything looks really smooth, really slick, really clean, and I really enjoy it. Now, R2d2 is pretty big, standing at 31 centimeters or 12.5 inches tall. And just to kind of give you a sense of scale, of course, besides the R2d2 minifigure, here is just a Spider-Man Pop Funko standing next to him. Here's kind of a Nintendo Switch Joy-Con, and even, you know, my glasses case. That is 2 glasses cases tall. He's very, very tall. And I think everything on the droid is in a really nice proportion. It's a really good model overall. It's an eye-catching piece. He looks really slick. He looks really clean, and overall, I love the aesthetic and the design of R2. Now, some of you may know I did end up building quite a lot of this set on stream, and then I did build a bit kind of in between the 2 streams, which featured a lot of Technic, and this is where it kind of annoys me. Now, I fully understand why the Technic is here. There are a lot of cool features inside this droid, and you need Technic to make them work, but if you're not a massive fan of Technic like me, and the whole thing kind of daunts you and things like that, I would definitely build this droid over the course of a few days. There is just so much Technic on the inside, and only when you get to bags 6, 7 is when you start brick building with the system pieces that, you know, we're all used to and that I'm mostly used to. I haven't built with too much Technic. I think back to the X-Wing from January, and that whole system I really struggled with. So it was kind of daunting taking on a challenge like R2, and let me tell you, I really probably shouldn't have been watching stuff in the background or interacting with people on stream when building it, because I did make one massive mistake, which I really want to touch on before we go inside, because there are some axle pieces inside of the arms of R2, and there's one short kind of yellow one and one longer gray one. The gray one needs to go up here, and the yellow one's somewhere around there, just in a brick to kind of attach the arm together. And I put the yellow one where the gray axle was supposed to go up here, and it was a nightmare to get out. I couldn't push it out, not even trying to reach in from the inside, because this entire thing is like a cage. It's really, really difficult. So I ended up having to practically rip the entire thing apart, which was also very hard because this is very, very structurally strong. So you just need to be very careful when building this thing. There are so many places where just one mistake, it will be fine at the moment, and then you move ahead 20 or so steps and it's come to bite you in the butt. So please, please pay attention with this. And I can really see why this is an 18 plus build. I mean, I guess someone younger could probably take it on, though I'm telling you, if I was 12 years old and this was the R2d2 that I had, it would be a nightmare. I'm being completely honest with you. This was quite difficult. I always find Star Wars sets quite difficult, and a lot of that does come down to me just not reading the instructions properly, but I did want to let you guys know know that. So let's have a quick look at the plaque first before we take a look at the droid. So first up, like any other UCS set, of course, you do get the little plaque telling you a bit of information about this. It does give you R2D2's regular height, a bit about the droid himself, as well as a kind of illustration of the Lego version like we usually see with this stuff. You also do get this exclusive 50th anniversary of Lucasfilm print, which the Lego designers have said that this is going to be the only set that appears in. So if that is something you're interested in getting, unfortunately, you're probably gonna have to buy this set. I feel like that could go for a lot on Bricklink. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still gonna be cheaper buying that off Bricklink than buying the entire set. Whether or not that's cost effective, that's up to you. And then you do get an R2d2 minifigure, which is unfortunately the same one. And when the Lego designers were asked about this in the Star Wars roundtable meeting that myself and many other LAN members were able to attend, they did kind of laugh at the idea of a new R2D2, and I completely understand, but unfortunately, like, it's boring. It's like a lot of people have this. I do wish that they'd create a brand new piece that could stick in the bottom, and then you could attach a little cheese slope to, so it looks like a third foot, kind of like in the Lego Skywalker saga teasers and all things like that. I feel like that would have been perfect for this. Like, just a new piece, not even a new mold. Like, let us attach a third foot to it, like build it on ourselves rather than creating a brand new mold, just to make it a bit more exciting. But I got very lucky in that my R2D2 has a perfectly printed head. I feel like this is the first time that that's actually happened. Like every other time it's been extremely wonky, so I got very, very lucky in this case. But besides that, the figure's the same as we've seen all the time, but at least it's a neat inclusion to go along with the little stand and plaque. So here is R2. Now, like I said, I was really fortunate and lucky enough to be a part of this Lego Star Wars meeting, roundtable discussion with the designers, and I learnt a lot looking at this droid, and there are so many cool features and functions on this set that it's incredible. And I know the designers were asked as well, like, why make R2D2 for the 50th anniversary? And basically they said he's one of the only characters that shows up in every single movie. And as much as I know people are sick of original trilogy, like, you can't deny that R2D2 plays a massive role in the Skywalker franchise. So to start off with, of course, his head does rotate a full 365 degrees. There's a lot of detail on this, and it does look really slick and smooth. I think out of all of the build, it's probably the closest looking to anything on the old model, but at least with this head, they've added a lot of extra features. Firstly, there's a little pop-up at the back, a little scanner thing that you can get up and twist around. It doesn't really stay there. It kind of just flops back down. I mean, I guess I actually just managed to get it to stand up. That's pretty cool. And that way he can just have a look around, and then that does just slide right back in there. Then at the front in the opposite corner, there is this little section that completely lifts off. And then on the inside, you do have this kind of micro build of Luke's lightsaber, which I thought was pretty cool. I don't think we've ever really gotten a lightsaber in this form, and I think it's pretty neat. It's kind of unfortunate though that you can't actually stick a lightsaber rod in here or kind of make your own, like it's literally just the hilt. But I thought that was a pretty neat inclusion, though it kind of also doesn't quite fit completely. I mean, it's definitely not to scale. I don't know what kind of scale this is in. It's more just like a little hidden gem, I'd say. Heading down to the center of the droid, you do have these two little flaps here that do open up on those little blue hatches. And then there are also these two side panels on the body, which if you turn the droid around, there's actually these little cone pieces sticking on the back. So when you push that forwards, that trap door opens, and then you can actually just flick up this little arm so R2 can go and open some doors and things like that. There's also one on the opposite side to open up that other door with another arm that flicks down. So in total, you've got like 4 little compartments that all open up, so you can kind of pose it around and experiment with it. And I guess if this is kind of sitting in your house and someone's like, whoa, is that a Lego R2D2? He's got a little party trick that you can show off to some of your house guests, which is pretty neat, and I love how they've kind of incorporated that. So before I show you the third and definitely the most exciting feature of this model, I do want to talk about how this is built. So this entire thing sort of has this square cage built up on the inside, and I feel like if I just get the instructions, it's going to be easiest to explain. Which, speaking of instructions, these are pretty thick and does have blue paper rather than black, so it's easy to kind of read. So as you kind of flick along, you can see that this entire thing is a cage on the inside. You've got these giant Technic pieces all connecting, and then you have his third foot kind of on the inside. And that is the whole reason why there is so much Technic. And then you've got like the legs, which have more Technic. And as you'll kind of see as I flick through, the front panels actually don't really attach. They're all built separately, and then you do just slide them on and pop them on. Now to show you the kind of main play feature and the bit that really made me go wow on this model, and that is extending the third foot. So as you can see, it kind of pops off. I just got to kind of click it back in there. Now I'm going to tell you right now, when the designers showed this to me, I just went wow, and I was like, please show me this again. And it looked very, very easy, very carefree. Then I tried it when I built my own, and it just was going wrong, and I'll show you kind of what I mean by that and how easy it was to kind of stuff it up. And it wasn't until Solid Brick Studios and the Brick Whiz kind of talked me through it on my live stream, telling me how they struggled with it as well and how they managed to kind of get it to work. So thank you so much, David and Matt, for kind of talking me through that. I'm glad I'm not the only one who really struggled to kind of get this feature to work, because when I tell you that it looked so smooth when the designers did it, I'm not kidding. It looked so carefree. So what you need to do is lift up the R2D2 and wait for these two legs to fully extend. Then you need to tilt the body back and his third foot will pop out. And I'm going to try and do this as quickly and kind of magically as possible, and then I'll kind of talk you through it in slow motion. So see how graceful that is? But let me tell you, this was pretty hard. So what I did at first was just kind of lift it up and plop it like that, and it kind of worked, but the arms weren't far enough forward so that they kind of spread out like that, which is completely wrong. And he kind of also did this thing where he'd just slide back in like that. I had so many issues with this. So what you really need to do, and it's very hard without kind of getting my arms in the way, but you need to lift the entire thing up, push his body forward, and really get these legs to stick back, and then you can plop him down and his kind of weight just figures it out himself. It was very difficult to do for a while, but once you've got it, it's kind of pretty easy to do, and it's really simple. He's very well balanced. He's not going to fall over, and there's R2 in his iconic third leg pose. Now, R2D2 does not have wheels, and that is purely, as the designers said, so that he doesn't fall off your shelf. So if you were looking for an R2D2 that wheels, you're probably gonna have to mod him yourself, but there are a bunch of those little smooth pieces on his feet. That way he can kind of slide around and you don't have to worry too much about that, although they will get stretched kind of if you continue to pull it. I've stuffed up the legs again now, there we go. So now that we've kind of talked all through the features, I do wanna have like a pretty close look at all of the details on this set, because there is quite a lot. Now, firstly, I love the design of these little legs. Like the functionality as well is really helpful, but I just love how slick this looks. I love the use of this round piece here and the telescopes and the round flat tiles. Everything is so smooth. You've got some lightsaber hilts and you've got some little grates here, a lot of curved pieces, and of course these golden pearl gold little wired things. I love how they look. The front as well looks so slick. I love how that turned out there. The use of these car hoods, everything is so clean. I did build these the wrong way around, so thank you to the person on my stream that pointed that out. But as you can see, like, he's so smooth. Like, there is so many curved pieces. There aren't many exposed studs, which is brilliant. Like, there's like 3 here, that's about it. Then on the other leg you do have the same thing, and if I kind of zoom in, you will see that I'm missing a great piece here. So when I was building, I actually realized that the great piece was just entirely kind of destroyed and all molded and wonky and bent, and I feel like it's just one of those cases where something like this has slipped through kind of the quality control section of Lego, because I got the piece, it's just came extremely damaged, which is quite frustrating because I don't have any like substitutes in my collection. So I will call customer service and get a replacement about that, but at least it's a nice easy fix, not too essential to the build. But I love the design. And then you go to the back and everything once again is so smoothed off. I mean, it's pretty plain at the back, and then again R2 is pretty plain at the back, but then of course you do have these little cones sticking out the back for those little bit of play functionality. Just overall, this droid is so clean. It really looks like something that could have been a mock, and just how neat and smooth everything is. And oh dear, his leg has dropped. It's very hard to rotate, I will give you that. But yeah, just overall, it looks like someone's built a mock of this. And like, that's something that I really love in Lego models, when something is really finished off like this that has not really many exposed studs, especially when you're doing something like a buildable droid or a buildable character. I love stuff like that. I mean, characters not as much, but droids, definitely yes, and I love the overall design of this R2. So overall, I love the functionality of this R2. I think aesthetically and just the whole design of him, he looks very clean. His appearance, there's not really anything I can fault. The only things that I can kind of really comment on that kind of bring this model down is really coming down to the build experience and just me personally not really liking Technic. For those who enjoy Technic and build things like the Bugatti and the Lamborghini and those type of sets, you'll really enjoy this one. Like, it's got a perfect balance, I think, of Technic and bricks for people who love that type of thing. For me, I'm not a big fan of Technic, so it wasn't too enjoyable for the beginning, and if I didn't really want to get this done so that I could do a review on it for May the 4th, I probably would have spread this out over the course of a few days just so that I didn't really have to sit down and put myself through that experience all in one go. The only other kind of complaint I'd say, which isn't really that big of a complaint, comes down to the price. So this set is $200 US or 330 Australian. And when you kind of put R2D2 up against probably the A-Wing from last year, which is at the same price point, to me, I don't know if it kind of feels the same. Like, there's a lot more functionality on R2, which is just something you don't really get with UCS sets, but I feel like because the A-Wing is quite a bit larger, I think it feels like you're getting more for your money, which you can't really say about R2. So especially when you've just got the same old R2d2 minifigure, I guess. The plaque is really nice. You get the exclusive print. Then you've got all of these cool features on R2, but besides that, there's not really too much exclusive. And like I said, if you've got the old model, it's going to be a much harder sell. I mean, if you're a completionist or you just prefer the look of this model and you have the old one, 100% go and get it. But if you've got it and you're content with your set, you don't really need to go and buy this. If you're like me and you don't have one and you would really like an R2, perfect. Like, this is a great option and a great set for you. I'm really excited to put him up next to my Grogu, and I even put him on the floor yesterday and like tried to get my dog to interact with him, and Maisie was just having a grand old time sniffing R2D2. She even sniffed his butt at one point. So for things like that, I think it's really good. And if you have the money and you want the set, I definitely recommend it, especially right now with May the 4th, you getting a promo and double VIP points on this set. I think this is the perfect time to get it. Double VIP points and a promo. Like that, you can't really go wrong. I think once those promos end, it's going to be a bit harder of a sell. I would probably say save your money, honestly, for the rest of the sets in the wave, just because I feel like R2D2 is something you can skip and you probably won't be too heartbroken over it. That being said, the original one did increase in value a lot, so I guess it's really up to you. I mean, if you do like the look of this set, May the 4th is the time to get it. But let me know what you guys are planning on buying for May the 4th if you plan on getting anything. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel down below. And until next time, guys, I'll see you later.